Hello students. So in this video we are going to discuss about complex tissues. Okay? What are these complex tissues? In the previous video we have already discussed about simple tissues, which is a group of similar cells with common origin and function. Whereas complex tissues is a group of dissimilar cells which are structurally dissimilar but unite, okay, or collaborate to perform a common function. That is what complex permanent tissues. And these complex permanent tissues, okay, include what? Xylem and phloem. And these are present in all vascular plants. And of course, you know that the vascular plants include pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. So, in all vascular plants, these complex tissues are present. Okay. And now, as these complex tissues are helping in conduction, okay, they are called vascular tissues. They are called vascular tissues. And as we have come to know that the complex tissues include xylem and phloem. Xylem is water conducting tissue, whereas phloem is food conducting tissue. Xylem is dead tissue because majority of the cells associated with xylem are dead. Whereas phloem is a living tissue because most of the cells associated with the phloem are living cells. Okay, so that's why phloem is called living conducting tissue, xylem is called dead conducting tissue. And now we will discuss the details of the xylem. You can see here xylem is a chief water or sap conducting tissue. What is sap means? So the water which is conducted by the xylem, or the water which is moving in the plant body, is not pure water. It is composed of several minerals also, and sometimes even hormones also mixed up in the water. So that's why this water with all these minerals and hormones is called sap. That's why it is called sap conducting tissue. Sap conducting tissue. And one more name is there for the xylem, that is hadrome. Okay. And don't forget that the most of, if you take the trunk, the major portion of the trunk is composed of xylem only. Of course, so that is secondary xylem. And that's why the xylem is also called as wood. Wood. So remember the alternate names of the xylem. It is called hadrome and also as what? Wood. And now it is a complex tissue and the cells are dissimilar. And how many types of cells will make the xylem? Let us see now. The xylem is composed of four types of cells. Four types of cells. What are they? Tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and xylem parenchyma. Tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and xylem parenchyma. Okay, first let us say the tracheids. So this is one tracheid cell, and these tracheid cells are generally arranged like this. Okay, so they are connected at the ends, and you can see these tracheids are most primitive type of conducting elements in xylem. Means what? The tracheids are present right from pteridophytes, and in majority of the pteridophytes you will find only tracheids, or the xylem is represented only by tracheids. Okay, and even in the gymnosperms also, so the xylem is mainly represented by tracheids only. So as pteridophytes are primitive plants, primitive vascular plants, So the tracheids are called most primitive type of conducting elements in xylem. But of course, remember that these are present in all vascular plants, all groups of vascular plants, that is pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. In most of the pteridophytes and gymnosperms, the xylem consists of only tracheids. Okay, and these are how they appear. These are elongated dead cells with hard lignified walls. Hard lignified walls, wide lumen. So this is the lumen. So as they are dead cells, you won't find any protoplasm, and in the place of protoplasm, you will find a cavity, and that cavity is called what? Lumen or cell cavity. So, and we saw this cell cavity or lumen even in the sclerenchyma. That is what dead simple mechanical tissue. But those lumens are very narrow, and sometimes they are obliterated, means what, they are closed. But here these are with the wide lumens, okay, and with the tapering ends, means what, narrow ends. You can see here narrow ends. And how these cells will appear in cross section? The cells will appear like this, okay, angular or polygonal, angular or polygonal. That is in the transverse section. But of course, remember these thickenings. That means even in the tracheids, you will find primary cell wall and secondary cell wall. And the primary cell wall is composed of cellulose, whereas secondary cell wall is made up of lignin. So lignified walls are associated with tracheids, vessels, and xylem fibers. These three are what? Dead cells, and they possess what? Lignified walls. But one special feature we have to discuss here. This lignin secondary wall is not deposited uniformly on the primary wall. It is deposited in different patterns. Different patterns. We can see these different patterns here. And when the secondary wall material is deposited in the form of rings, so you have to take this purple color as primary wall, and this okay, orange color as secondary wall. So the secondary wall is deposited over this primary wall in the form of rings. These thickenings are called annular thickenings. And here you can see the thickenings are arranged in the form of a spring like arrangement. This is called spiral thickenings. And here the secondary wall thickenings are arranged like the steps of the ladder or rungs of the ladder, and that's why these thickenings are called scalariform thickenings. And sometimes the scalariform thickenings may okay, get connected and form one network, and this net like thickenings is called what? Reticulate thickening. And here you can see this orange color represents what? Secondary wall, and it is deposited everywhere, leaving these gaps, and these are called what? Pits. So that's why this is called pitted thickenings. And these pitted, these are simple pits, but sometimes you will find the pits like this also, and these are called bordered pitted. So they may be with the simple pits, or they may be with bordered pits. And these pitted thickenings is advanced type of thickenings. So among all these, the pitted thickenings are advanced type. Okay, and already I told you that these are connected to one another laterally at their ends. Okay, like this, they are connected to at their ends like this. And water and mineral ions are conducted in upward direction. You can see that arrow marks. So the water is moving in upward direction. And don't forget that the xylem conducts water only in one direction. So it exhibits unidirectional flow. Okay, and water and mineral ions are conducted in upward direction from one tracheid to another tracheid. You can see here, from one tracheid to another tracheids. So the movement will be a zigzag movement you will find in the tracheids. So later, okay, these vessels have evolved. Okay, so these are formed in angiosperms. So we will see the vessels now. Vessels. So these vessels are advanced type of conducting elements in the xylem, or conducting structures in xylem. And remember, these vessels are formed among angiosperms. So along with tracheids, most of the angiosperms will show the vessels which are an advanced type and efficient in conduction. Okay, and these vessels, presence of vessels is a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Presence of vessels is a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Means what? By taking anatomical features, and suppose you are observing a transverse section of unknown stem, and suppose you saw vessels in that, so then you can identify that as what? Angiospermic stem. So that is what characteristic feature of angiosperms. But here there are some exceptions, like what? Dremes. And Dremes belonging to Venteraceae family. Trochodendron of Trochodendraceae family, though they are angiosperms, but they doesn't contain these vessels. So just remember for the examination point of view, so the angiosperms without vessels are Trimes and Trochodendron, or the families Venteraceae and Trochodendraceae. And of course, in pteridophytes, gymnosperms, we said that their xylem is composed of only tracheids, but some exceptions are there, and some pteridophytes will contain vessels like what? Selaginella and Pteridium. Selaginella and Pteridium will have vessels, and gymnosperms are also there, which will contain the vessels, and they include some species of cycas and all species of Nata. Okay, and okay, so that is what. Now let us say how these vessels will appear. They are elongated tubular cells. So the tracheids are spindle-shaped cells, but whereas the vessels are tubular cells. And we observe that tracheids are attached at their ends in zigzag fashion. Okay, but whereas these tubular cells are arranged in one row. Of course, you will find several such rows, vertical rows will be there, and you can see here. They are arranged one above the other, and they are interconnected by these cross walls, and which can be called what? Septa. And these septa are will have some pores or perforations. So that's why we call them perforation plates. Okay, so elongated tubular cells formed in rows, and which are called all of them. The group is called what? Vessel elements or vessel members. Okay, interconnected through perforation plates. So these are what? Perforation plates. And these perforation plates may be simple. If there is single pore, it is called simple perforation plate. And if you find a group of pores, then it is called compound perforation plate. And sometimes you will find only a hole, a large hole that is formed due to the destruction of these pores. So that means what? That cross wall never becomes a hindrance for the movement of water. So like that there are. And of course, these are dead cells because you won't find any protoplasm in the cells, but you will find what? Primary cell wall, that is PCW, and the secondary cell wall. Primary cell wall is composed of cellulose, and whereas secondary cell wall is composed of lignin. So that's why we call these as what? Lignified cells. So walls of vessels are lignified, moderately thick, means what? They are not much thicker like the fibers. Okay, so they are moderately thick and possess a wide lumen. So what is that lumen? So the cavity. So in the place of protoplasm, now you will find what? A cavity, cell cavity or lumen. So here you will find what? Wide lumen. That's why water can move very freely. And the like tracheids. So what is the function of tracheids? Conduction of water. So, like tracheids, even the vessels also help in sap conduction. Of course, that is what mineral solution. So, sap conduction and also provide mechanical support. So, that means you have to understand this one. So, the tracheids and vessels are having some common features. What are those common features? Both are, okay, helping in water conduction, and both are dead cells. That's why both will provide even mechanical strength to the plant body wherever they are present. Now the third type of cells associated with xylem are xylem fibers. These are also dead cells, and of course they're long, narrow, elongated cells. Long, narrow, elongated cells with lignified walls, and the secondary wall is very much thick, and because of which you won't find the lumen, maybe a very narrow lumen, or it may be almost completely closed. So that's why xylem fibers do not help in the conduction of water, but they provide what mechanical strength. Of course, these fibers are of two types. Okay, libriform fibers and fiber tracheids. Libriform fibers and fiber tracheids. And what are these libriform fibers? These are the true fibers. That means what sclerenchymatous fibers are actually the libriform fibers. And sometimes what will happen, the tracheids, which are with wide lumens, these wide lumens, due to deposition of more amount of lignin, so that wide lumen also gets reduced to narrow lumen, and they lose the ability of conduction. So that's why they are not really, it means what, not originally sclerenchymatous fibers. They are originally tracheids, but they are now okay, behaving like fibers. That's why we call them as what, fiber tracheids. So the reduced tracheids, okay, are the fiber tracheids. But how to differentiate them? So with the help of pits. The true fibers are with simple pits. Okay, simple pit means you will find like this, simple pit. And the reduced tracheids are with bordered pits, like this, bordered pits. This is simple pit, and this is bordered pit on the walls. But of course, whether they are libriform or fiber tracheids, the function of both of them is same, and both of them will provide what, mechanical support, or they provide mechanical strength to the xylem tissue wherever it is present. And now let us see the fourth type of cells associated with the xylem, that is what, xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma is the only living cells associated with the, okay, associated with this xylem. So they are the cells of the xylem are small, thin walled. Means what, they doesn't have secondary wall, they have only primary wall. So they are thin walled living cells, living cells. Now, based on the orientation of these cells, we can recognize two types of xylem parenchyma, that is ray parenchyma and axial parenchyma. The one that is arranged, okay, perpendicular to the axis, perpendicular to the axis, is called ray parenchyma, and it helps in radial conduction, radial conduction. And the cells which are arranged parallel to the axis, so are vertically arranged ones, are called axial parenchyma. And this axial parenchyma mainly helps in what, the storage of food materials, and sometimes even it stores what, the excretory materials like tannins, resins, gums, etc. So that is what xylem parenchyma. So I hope you are understanding about this xylem. And so remember that the xylem is composed of four types of cells, that is tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and xylem parenchyma. And don't forget that among these four types, Okay, the first three are what? Dead cells. So majority of the xylem cells are dead cells. That's why xylem is considered as a dead conducting tissue. And of course, as it conducts water, we can say like this: it is a dead water conducting tissue. And the only living cells associated with the xylem are xylem parenchyma. Okay, and don't forget this point also. This xylem conducts water or the sap only in one direction. That is what the unidirection flow you will find through xylem. That is about this complex tissue xylem. And in the next video, we will discuss about the other food conducting tissue, that is what phloem.